At the end of this video, you will be able to investigate the relationship between the angle of release and height and range of the projectile. In order for a projectile to happen, a projectile is given an initial velocity at angle of inclination. Let's have this in a simulator. We have here angle of inclination of 40 degrees and initial velocity of 15 meters per second. Let's find its maximum height and range. We have here maximum height of 4.74 meters and range of 22.63 meters. Let's have example number 2 with an angle of inclination of 40 degrees and initial velocity of 15 meters per second. Now, let's find its maximum height and range. We have here maximum height of 22.88 meters and range of 19.22 meters. This time, let's compare the height and ranges of the projectiles at different initial velocities given that the angle of inclination is constant. We have projectiles A, B, and C with constant inclination angle of 25 degrees. First, projectile A with initial velocity of 10 meters per second. Let's find its maximum height and range. We have maximum height of 0.91 meters and range of 7.81 meters. Next we have is projectile B with initial velocity of 15 meters per second. Let's find its maximum height and range. We have maximum height of 2.05 meters and range of 17.57 meters. Let's have projectile C with initial velocity of 20 meters per second. Let's find its maximum height and range. We have maximum height of 3.65 meters and range of 31.21 meters. If we increase initial velocity, the maximum height and range also increases, given that the angle of inclination is constant. Let's try to investigate the height and ranges of the projectiles at different inclination angle, given that the initial velocity is constant. We have here projectiles A, B, and C with constant initial velocity of 15 meters per second. Let's find its maximum height and range. Let's have projectile A with inclination angle of 35 degrees. Let's find its maximum height and range. We have maximum height of 3.77 meters and range of 22.57 meters. So let's go with projectile B with inclination angle of 50 degrees. Let's find its maximum height and range. Now we get maximum height of 6.73 meters and range of 22.57 meters. Now let's go with projectile C with inclination angle of 60 degrees. Now let's find its maximum height and range. We get maximum height of 8.66 meters and the range of 19.87 meters. As we can see in the table, if the angle of inclination is constant, the maximum height increases as the angle of inclination increases and vice versa. Also, the range decreases as the angle of inclination increases and vice versa. Let's try to answer this one. We have here a basketball player. So when the angle of inclination is decreased when shooting a basketball, is there a change in its trajectory path? How? Given that the initial velocity is constant, if we decrease the angle of inclination, the maximum height also decreases. Also, if we decrease the angle of inclination, the range also increases.